Hello YouTube, this is Veteran Mountain Man coming to you today to discuss something very important, and that is the Chemical Weapons Convention and why the United States needed to have some sort of hard reaction to this chemical weapons attack that occurred just recently. Well, something that a lot of people in this country have forgotten is that the United States, along with many other countries, have always had a very hard stance on the use of chemical weapons. There's a very important reason for that. Chemical weapons are indiscriminate. They tend to kill even unintended individuals. And we're not talking about like normal munitions here, people. We are talking about highly dangerous weaponry. Imagine, if you will, a normal artillery attack. So you hear the shell coming in. Shell lands, it explodes, it levels everything for about 12 meters, which is 12 to 20 meters is the average radius for an artillery shell, for serious artillery. That's really bad. That's really bad. But that's nothing compared to a chemical gas artillery shell fired at the same location. So that chemical gas artillery shell is fired, it explodes. It distributes a colorless, odorless gas cloud. That gas cloud extends well beyond the 20-meter radius of the standard kill zone of the shrapnel. That gas cloud probably, depending upon the size of the shell, will radiate anywhere from 60 to 100 meters, maybe even more, in an effective lethality level. And it persists until you get enough air pushed through the area to dissipate it, or you get somebody that comes in with some sort of counter agent, such as foam or water, depending upon the agent in question, and sprays the area and counteracts the chemical. So, in 1993, an international convention treaty was signed, specifically outlawing the use of chemical weapons, setting a timeline for the destruction thereof, and making it illegal to produce, proliferate, or distribute chemical weapons technology. Yet here we are in 2017 talking about chemical weapons going off in Syria. And what's worse is we continue to hear this attempted blame laid on the Syrian rebels having the technology because, President Obama's infamous line, "Don't use chemical weapons," and then they were used anyway, and he did nothing. Well, let me tell you something, people. If this is a sarin gas attack, as it's been indicated, there's no way the rebels got a hold of sarin gas unless they pulled it out of a bunker somewhere in the desert, either in Assad's territory where it had been stored, or got it from some sort of stockpile that Iraq sent to who knows where and got dug up. If it's chloride gas, well, it looks like it could be as well from the raw footage I've seen and shared on Mines.com. Realistically, you can make that using industrial ammonia and industrial chloride bleach. Now, I'm not going to describe how it's done because I'm not going to help in proliferating chemical weapons, but there's a reason that chemical weapons, along with biological weapons and even nuclear weapons, why the United States has signed treaty after treaty trying to stop the proliferation thereof, and why the U.S. has struggled so hard to stop the nuclearization of nation states and to stop the production of chemical and biological weapons. These things are indiscriminate. And I don't care who uses them. I want to see them punished under the international statutes and treaties. So, for those of you who might try to call me some sort of neocon for this, go ahead. But realistically, where I draw the intervention line is that no proliferations of weapons of mass destruction. None. Period. End of story. If you want to produce weapons of mass destruction, expect me to be talking to Congress to come kick your door in with plenty of soldiers and hard-hitting weaponry, because I don't want to see chemical weapons used. And I don't care about the suffering that they cause. I care about the indiscriminate nature therein. I care about somebody sitting in their home and starting to go into convulsions and not even know that there's a gas attack going on, because some of these chemicals are that insidious. They're designed to be completely undetectable, no smell, no color, no odor, no taste, and yet they are lethal. So, if you want to tell me that they're nowhere worse than standard munitions, I want you to cite your sources, because I am going to include sources below to the Operation for Chemical Weapons Abolition. I'm going to include information about the Chemical Weapons Convention below, and you can go read it and see for yourself. These things are dangerous and should have never been uncorked out of that genie bottle. But you know what? World War I was a horrific place. And when we started using them, it became hard to stop. And that's why the first Chemical Weapons Convention was signed shortly after the Treaty of Versailles, which was the ending of the First World War. Well, I want to thank you all today for joining me. If you've got YouTubers that are talking about this from other perspectives, maybe recommend they come see my video and hear my perspective on it. I know that some people are going to be rather upset that I am condoning war to stop the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, but I think honestly that that's a cause worth fighting and dying for, and I would be willing to step back onto the battlefield and bleed over it. So if they want to come and talk to me about it, tell them to. Down below will be the links to several sources, including the Chemical Weapons Proliferation Act and the international organization overseeing the destruction of the chemical weapons. Also, I will include a link to my Minds.com account. That's minds.com/veteranmountainman. Or you can reach me at vid.me. That's vid.me/veteranmountainman. You can also leave a comment below. Like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. If you dislike, I'd ask that you leave a reason. Although I've been seeing a few dislikes without any reason or anything at all, because apparently I am some sort of abhorrent ogre. Anyway, thank you all again, and have yourselves a wonderful day.